Alright, what's up Dominators? Welcome back to the ShiHai's channel, and today I present to you mine, or technically Wilson's, Yasui post VBT09 deck recipe. So yes, it is Monday the 24th, the new set, which is the VBT10, the Shadow Paladin set, will be releasing on the 26th of August. So yes, I'm trying to pump out the last two deck recipes, which is probably gonna be Yasui and Lukia. Look here. So for now, we have the Yasui deck recipe. I think it's really consistent, and technically this deck is quite interesting. I've seen the mechanics and played tested it before, and I think it's really strong. Yes, it's almost comparative to a tier 1 deck. I would say it's about a tier 1.5 around there if I were to give it my best opinion of it, because of the sheer power of where you can recycle Shirayuki back every turn, and you know, getting the consistent amount of draws, and checking fronts is really strong because you can generate a lot of XLs every time you write into your VR. So yes, this is the new VR. We have Yasui, so we got two Yasuis. One's the old grade 3, I think, and one's the stride, something like that. I am not too sure. Actually, Wilson actually knows. But yes, we're just going to get right to it. We have the new format, the layout of the deck, and we go through the cards, why do we run them, the skills, and a little bit of combos here and there, and how the deck actually works. So let's just jump right into it. We have the new VR right here. Wilson has a SP version of it. It looks really nice. It's Stealth Rogue of Revelation Yasui. So X, once per turn, card loss 1/+1, choose 2 of your units, search your deck or drop zone for up to 1 card with the same card name as those units, and call them to rearguard circle, and if you search your deck, you shuffle your deck. So it's a bit like Mandala Lord, the old Mandala Lord, which is Count +1, Soul +1, sorry. Count +1, Soul +1, you actually spawn 2 of your units on the board, so you choose 2 of your units, and then you spawn them. It's basically +2 for free on the board. And then second skill is, at the end of battle, you attack, you discard 2 cards from your hand, write an ambush demon stealth rogue Yasui 10 from drop zone as 10, and that unit gains drive -1 at the end of turn. So this is the ambush demon stealth rogue Yasui 10, and where the idea with this deck is multi-attack madness, in a sense, where you after you're attacking with the VR, you write this grade 3 from your drop zone as 10, and then you get an additional XL. So it refunds the cost of you discarding 2 cards, and it gains drive -1, so it's actually net, in a sense. So yes, take note. But of course you can discard cards like the grade 3 if you have in your hand, so that's considered useless, and you're gonna ride over it. And then the deck requires you to keep riding into your VR, because after that, riding into your triple rare right here, which is this grade 3, that one's the VR, one's the triple rare, it doesn't really net you a lot of value, and you aren't able to withstand or rewrite your Vanguard future turns if you are just stuck on the triple rare. So ideally, you want to keep riding into your VR and spawn as many XL circles as you want, and then checking fronts, of course, is a very good way to win the game, because with so many XL circles and units spawning based on the XL circle, because you got free pluses and free spawn with your VR or your triple rare or this great one right here, it's easy to end your opponent off with really high value power. So that's one of the reasons why you run fronts. Alright, I digress. Just move on to the triple rare. We got new ambush demon stealth rogue Yasui Tema. So first, Vanguard skill, X, once per turn, you count +1, choose 1 of your units, search your deck for drop zone for 1 card with the same card name, call it to rearguard circle. If you shuffle your deck, you shuffle your deck. So it's the exact same skill but as the VR, but instead of searching 2, you search 1, and instead of soul blasting 1, you don't soul blast at all. So both cost card blast, but 1 doesn't cost soul blast, and this is a shittier version, of course. Second skill, when it attacks, this unit gives +10k. At the end of battle, retire this unit, choose 1 of your opponent's rearguard, and you put board deck the rearguard into your opponent's deck. So take note, it's only a rearguard skill, so it's not a Vanguard / rearguard. I wish it was Vanguard / rearguard, but it would be kind of strong if it is, because it's a triple rare, it's not VR level yet. So it allows you to get rid of really annoying pieces, such as, example, DI's Killer Tail. Rearguard's Killer Tail. You can get rid of any annoying units you have on the board, like as for example, you have the main on the board that you want to get rid of, something like that. So you can just immediately get rid of that on the board. And good thing is, it doesn't go to the drop zone, so like Grand Blue, where it goes to drop zone, you can revive it, but instead it goes to the opponent's bottom deck, which is harder, as your opponent would need to shuffle the deck and draw into it or mill it by somehow in order to get it back onto the field or the drop zone. Right, so 4 off is a total must. As you can see, the grade 3 counts in this deck is really high. You run 13 grade 3s, but most of these grade 3s, they net a really big value back. So moving on to Shirayuki, yes, I think this card is the reason why it's restricted to 1 off, because it's really OP because of the skill. Auto, Vanguard, Rearguard, or Guardian Circle. When placed, so Bastu choose 3 of your opponent's units in the front row. They gain minus 5k until end of turn, power minus 5k until end of turn, and if this unit is Vanguard on the Vanguard circle or Guardian circle, they get minus 10k instead of 5k. So in a sense, it's additional free 30k shield in a sense whenever you are placing it on the Guardian circle, because you choose 3 of your opponent's units and minus 10k power. So it's a grade 3 with a 30k shield. And so in this deck is really free because you got this card right here, One Eye Noodle, which we'll get to later. And reasons why it's restricted to 1, of course, it's a 1 card 30k shield, even better than a huge trigger for cost of Soul Blast 2 only. And it has an Excel circle, and at the same time, the second skill, when it attacks the stun hit, you return a Fantasy Petal Shirayuki from your zone to your hand. It doesn't really matter because you only can run 1 in the deck. But reasons why you actually run it is because you can keep recycling it back from the drop zone into your hand, and then you can use it every turn using this card right here, Rename Madam, which we'll get to later. So yeah, 1 off I think is a really good option, especially if you're going against a force clan. It's essentially taking away 3 force markers on your opponent's turn, which is insanely good and strong. Moving on, we got Stealthy One Eye Noodle. So this card is very interesting. It has XL, yes, but take note, I've seen a lot of people misplay with this card because of card text skill. So take note, listen and open your ears, okay? Con Rearguard Circle, if you have another unit with the same card name as this unit on your Vanguard or Rearguard, this unit gains boost and auto. At the end of each turn, you have 5 or more units, cost, put this unit to your soul and draw a card. So what does this mean? You are gaining the con skill, so a continuous skill is always there. You are fulfilling the first condition, which is if you have another unit with the same card name as this unit on your Vanguard or Rearguard, you gain boost. And then after end of each turn, you have 5 or more units, you put this unit to your soul, you draw a card. So you can't just end of your turn, you check the condition first if you have another same unit as this card. So if you are on Hyuga, doesn't matter, all of your card names are the same, so yes, you can just soul in. But on this Yasui Vanguard, you have to take number 1 note that you must have at least 2 of One Eye Noodle on the board. Secondly, after you check that you have 2 of the same name on the board, you can either check One Eye Noodle or this card actually it copies the same name. We'll get to later. And then after that, you check if you have 5 or more units. So 5 or more units inclusive of himself. So take note that your Vanguard is considered a unit as well. So technically your Vanguard plus 4 Rearguards is 5 units. And then after that, you can shove this to your soul and draw 1. So you have to resolve the effects 1 by 1. You can't just, let's just say you got 3 on the board, and you have like 6 units, inclusive of the 3 One Eye Noodles on the board. You can't just shove in 3 One Eye Noodles and draw 3. Because you are checking for the condition first. Because it's a con skill, you must have same unit as the Rearguard, as this, and then you shove into your soul, you draw a card. You check for the same name first, sorry. Then after you check for the same name, you must check for 5 or more units, then you're able to shove this unit into your soul and draw 1. So you must take note that this is a very important skill, and you must not misplay and cheat your opponent in a sense, because it's a con skill. You are checking for 2 variables at the same time, and you must activate those variables 1 by 1 depending on your enter skill. So you activate them 1 by 1, and after, if you cannot fulfill any of the variables above mentioned, you are unable to put this unit in your soul and draw a card. So yeah, that's basically it. It's a pretty long run, but yeah. So this card is very strong. Enable Shirayuki every turn, and it nets you back the card. It gains boost as well if you have 2 units on the board. So it's simple, and yeah, reasons why we run the high amount of grade 3 is because, you know, it nets you back the card, it enables your Shirayuki online, and yeah, that's basically it. Alright, moving on to the grade 2s. So grade 2 slot is 9 grade 2s. It's a pretty low, yes, I understand, but reasons because yeah, we're running high amounts of grade 3s. But grade 2 slots in this deck is not really that important. What you're really wanting to do is keep spawning units on to your field. Ideally this triple rare right here, yeah, Yasui Tenma, so they can bot that your opponent's rearguards after it attack. So first we have Fushimi. So Fushimi is a pretty interesting card as a flex spot, I would say, because you only runs 1. Con Vanguard Rearguard, you have 4 more Rearguards, this unit gets plus 5k, so yeah, 40k attack. Second skill, when placed, Vanguard Rearguard, choose 1 of the units, and until the end of turn, the unit can attack the back row. So the unit that you choose can attack the opponent's back row Rearguard. So yeah, take note, it's not this unit can attack from back row, that's a whole different story. So take note about that. Good to get rid of units back in the back row that you really don't like. Example, Nime, Grand Skeletal, and you want to damage to 9, yeah, sure, go ahead. So 1 off, flex spot, I think it's fine. Grade 2 is actually flexible. You can run like 4 Fushimis if you want, you can cut this down. So let's just move on right to it. So it's Stealth Rope of Intangibility, Kuni-naga. Rusen runs this because of the mirror matchup, if I'm not wrong. So Con Rearguard, if you have another unit with the same card name as this unit cannot be chosen by opponent's card abilities and gains plus 5k power. So it's both your opponent's turn and during your turn. It's a 14k base if you have another same name. And at the same time, if you do have the same name, this cannot be targeted by opponent card effect. So no burning, no PBD, no Gasbuster, no what's called whatever Anger Blader, don't have you can't activate Yasui's Tenma skill if you're going against a mirror matchup. So yeah, a lot of burning effects, Kagero, Berserk Dragon, all cannot work. So yeah, it's okay, I would say. It's really not much to run in the grade 2 slot, because grade 2 slots in Murakumo is pretty it's pretty trash. There's a lot of cards you can run, but all not really useful compared to the grade 1s nor the grade 3. So grade 2 slot is pretty flexible. Last but not least, we have this card. I think it's a 4 off. Unmasked Stealth Rope Awazu. Skill auto Rearguard Circle. When placed, search your deck for 1 card, put it into your drop zone and shuffle your deck, and this unit gains that card's name until the end of turn. So what you can fancy smashies do, you call this down, you mill 1 Iron Noodle, you count Blast Soul Blast, search 1 Iron Noodle and search another card on the field. IDV this girl right here, or you can search a grade 3, so that you can spawn 1 Iron Noodle. At the end of turn, you're checking for the names, so take note that this copies the name of 1 Iron Noodle, so you can, you know, sew in 5 more units, and you check, first you check for the same name, then secondly you check for the 5 more units. So you do have the same name, you can just sew in, draw 1. So take note, this card is really strong, and it helps you filter the deck a lot in terms of getting the cards that you want to spawn out onto the field. So let's just say you don't have a grade 3, you don't have Yasui Tenma on the field, but you want it, you can just call this card down, you mill Yasui Tenma gains, I mean this unit gains Yasui Tenma's name, and then you use Yasui's skill to counter so fast, you copy Yasui Tenma out from your deck onto the field, and another unit probably. So this unit 4 off is a must. Alright, moving on to grade 1s. Grade 1s we run probably a healthy amount as well, it's 11 grade 1s. So first we're gonna go to the generic grade 3 searcher, Gateway Stealth Rope Ataka. Con Vanguard Rearguard during attack, if you have 2 or more units with the same card name, this unit gains plus 5k. This is pretty generic, you'll probably have 2 or more of the same names on board most of the time. So, but of course it's only during a turn, so it's 13k attacker slash booster. Second skill, generic, when placed, top 5, grade 3, added, you discard card. Simple. Moving on to the other grade 1 that is more important. Wistera Flower Stealth Rope Takahime. So this card is when your multi-attack madness comes in. So auto Vanguard Circle, when placed, do a top 7, search for 1 card with Yasui and add to hand. If you added, shuffle your deck. Actually though, if you didn't add, you still shuffle your deck anyways. So you have 8 Yasuis in the deck. Chance of you hitting Yasui is pretty high, I would say. But there are times when you miss, of course, when you don't shuffle your deck properly, or you don't filter your deck properly. Some VRs or triple rares stacked together, so you're unable to search the Yasui out of a skill. But it's a pretty good plus, it's a free plus on Vanguard Circle, so why not? Second skill, where it gets really spicy, Autumn Vanguard Circle. Once per turn, when your Vanguard with Yasui in its card name is placed, card plus 1, choose 1 of the units called up to 1 card with the same card name as the chosen unit from your drop zone to Vanguard Circle. So after rewriting from the VR to the triple rare, since your Yasui Vanguard is placed, you count plus 1, you call the card on your field with the same name as with the same name, yes, from drop zone to Vanguard Circle. So yeah, I'm able to call the grade 3 triple rare again, or you can call basically any card, but ideally you want to call like either another grade 2 or grade 3. You don't really want to call grade 1s. If you want to call grade 1, you call Takahime to start off for next turn. Most of the time, you'll be just calling triple rare. You obviously want to call triple rare because it's a 22k attacker slash 27k attacker if it's on XL2. And then after end of battle, it retires, bought that one opponent's Vanguard, so it's really strong. And it's basically the multi-attack madness for this deck, and it's a really important card. It's good to ride it on the first turn, and then you can soul blast it out from soul either by Shirayuki, or you can use Yasui skill, Karma Soul Blast. You soul blast it out, you search your deck for 2 units. It's probably in the drop zone. You can gain the name as well to copy by this effect, so it's really consistent in a way. The deck really runs like a well-oiled machine. Yes. Alright, last but not least, we got Stealth Fiend Ready Madam. This is basically the simple skill or auto react circle when you need attacks does not hit. Put this in your soul, return 1 Shirayuki from a drop zone to your hand. So it allows you to recycle your Shirayuki almost every turn, and then allows you to use Shirayuki skill every time as well to negate 30k shield value off your opponent's board. So it's really strong. I recommend copies of 2 to 3. I don't recommend 4 if you really want. 4, you have to cut down some cards, but I think it's fine. 3 is a really healthy number for a grade 1. And then take note that when your unit's attack does not hit means any of your unit's attack does not hit. Doesn't mean like your Vanguard does not hit or your Rearguard does not hit, then you're able to activate the skill. It's anytime your opponent guards the attack and the attack did not go through, you're able to use the Mini Madam skill to shuffle the soul and take 1 Shirayuki back from the drop zone to your hand. So yeah, essentially taking back 30k worth of shields. So the deck, as you can see, runs really well. You have soul charging power, you got drop power, you got shield value, you got spawning value, and last but not least, of course, moving to the triggers, you can see consistency wise, 4 draws, 8 fronts, and 4 heals. I think it's fine. Reasons why we don't run crits is because every turn you're spawning XLs, and the more XLs you spawn, the more units you are able to call, and more units able to call means once you check a front, it's really devastating for your opponent to guard. 1 front is like giving your whole front row plus 10k, even though it's only 1 damage compared to a crit. But most decks now, like let's just say look here, they're running more fronts, because as long as your XL deck that generates fronts, generates XLs every turn, fronts is always the better option in terms of the net off in the late game. So yes, once you're getting a lot of XLs, you're getting a lot of units, front is obviously more devastating rather than crits. So yeah, triggers wise, as I said before, flexible. You can run 12 fronts if you want. You can run 12 fronts for heals. You can run 16 fronts if you really want. You go ballsy all in. I guess up to you, as I said before. And last but not least, starter. This has a really cute starter right there. Masago Stealth Rogue Goemon. So it looks really cute. SP as well. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys like this deck recipe. I'll be posting Lukia really soon, or is it Lukia is already out, depending on which one I post first. Probably I'm gonna post this first. Then after that I'm gonna post Lukia deck recipe. But for now, thank you very much for watching. This is VGShy, and I'm out. Peace!